Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the village board meeting of October 28th. Please join us in our pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, Mrs. Flores.
Trustee Harris Jones.
Here.
Trustee Willis.
Here.
Trustee Heiferman.
Here.
Trustee Simpson.
Here.
Trustee Mason.
Here.
Trustee Roman.
Here.
Mayor Holfeld.
Here. Representing staff this evening, to my left, our village manager Napoleon Haney. To my right, our village attorney Chris Cumming. To the audience's right, our police chief Denise McGrath, finance director Amy Zukowski, economic and community development director Angela Maceras, public works director Josh Berman, and assistant village manager Karen Sakwa. The minutes of October 14th. Any additions or corrections? Trustee Harris Jones.
Nothing for me.
Trustee Willis.
None.
Trustee Heiferman.
None.
Trustee Simpson.
No, sir.
Trustee Mason.
No, sir.
Trustee Roman.
Nothing for me.
May I have a motion to approve the minutes, please?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Been moved by trustee Simpson, seconded by trustee Willis. Roll call, please.
Trustee Harris Jones.
Aye.
Trustee Willis.
Aye.
Trustee Heiferman.
Aye.
Trustee Simpson. Trustee Mason. Trustee Roman.
Aye.
The minutes are approved. The claims list in the amount of $367,930.23. Comments or questions? Trustee Harris Jones.
Nothing for me.
Trustee Willis.
No.
Trustee Heiferman.
Nothing.
Trustee Simpson.
Nothing.
Trustee Mason.
No, sir.
Trustee Roman.
Nothing.
May I have a motion to approve the claims list, please?
So moved. Second.
Been moved by trustee Harris Jones, second by trustee Roman. Roll call, please.
Trustee Harris Jones.
Aye.
Trustee Willis.
Aye.
Trustee Heiferman.
Aye.
Trustee Simpson.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Roman.
Aye.
The claims list is approved. Of that almost $368,000 claims list, our payment to Thorn Creek Sanitary District was $96,000 or 26% that claims list. Presentations. The Linden Group will give an update on the Homewood Auditorium. Mr. Aqua.
Good evening, everybody. Back in May, the village board approved the Linden Group Architects to assist with the renovations to the auditorium. So as a quick recap, we received $1.3 million from DCEO to assist with renovations to the auditorium to be a flexible performing arts venue. So this space would be used for community gatherings, an art gallery, just a bunch of different uses. So with that, during that short time, the Linden Group and staff have met with some small stakeholders. So in this meeting, they've provided some great feedback, and this has really been the guiding light for our for our event. So during that time, the village staff has been working with the Linden Group to finalize the budget. And once complete, staff plans to bring back the project to the board meeting in November to select a procurement method for the construction phase. So following that, the village will submit a updated application to DCEO, and then with the goal of construction beginning in early spring. And so with that, I got Mike Mathis here tonight to talk about the project.
Thank you, Terrence. Mike Mathis with Linden Group Architects. We started this project off with sort of an assessment of the building. Our project team includes contractor Cosgrove Construction, who's been helping us with estimating, engineering, Millie's Engineering out of Munster, Indiana, and Threshold Acoustics for consulting in acoustics and AV on the project. Threshold was actually one of the consultants that was involved when this building was looked at a few years back in a much grander scheme of things. I think Obviously, this is a scaled back project at 1.3 million, but Thresholds provided some great guidance for us as we went through the design process. Terrence also mentioned we got an opportunity to sit down with a group of stakeholders. Got a lot of good feedback, did some brainstorming. We walked the building with them. We brought concepts to that meeting, kind of talked through things. And then we brought them back after we had developed details and had gone through the budgeting process to assess what they were asking for and what the cost would be and how they would fit into the grant that we're trying to meet, that $1.3 million grant. And had a lot of good feedback from them and a lot of buy-in on what we were proposing. So with that, I'd like to just kind of give you a quick overview of the plans. Also want to mention we have had both environmental testing gone through the building. So we've, as part of our budgeting, we're putting in some abatement of some environmental stuff that was found, as well as we've had on the contractor side, Cosgrove Construction, is have subcontractors come through to validate our cost estimating so that we make sure that we were giving our due diligence and planning for the project in a way that we wouldn't exceed the 1.3 million. So what you see on screen right now is a floor plan looking from above of the facility. And one of the biggest changes that we did, if you see that the sort of space in the middle, one of the things we wanted to sort of, I guess, make the space audible. I know you guys have done events there now. Recently, I think there was a safety standard and the echoing was really bad. So one of the things that came out of the stakeholder meeting was that it had to be multi-purpose. So the first thing tackling acoustics was creating these sort of where we have the gym space, which is a long rectangle turned sideways on the stage. We created these built out rooms that kind of create more of a auditorium shape for the auditorium. So we have a room on either side that fill each end of the gym. Obviously, all the basketball and athletic equipment come out of the space. The high bay lighting comes out of the space. We're trying to elevate it to more of a performance arts level. So those two spaces, each side gets built out. We get increased storage so that we can store seating and multi-purpose tables and chairs. And we also get two what we're calling breakout rooms. If you've been in the building, you know there's space that's underneath the stage that they call like green room space, which is space that when performances are happening, the performers can be in. It's not accessible. It's down a pretty tight stair. And the thought was to try to give some of that support space, the breakout space, to the main level of the auditorium. So we have these two rooms. Each room is about 17 by 25. So I think there's a lot of uses that could be done as this building gets programmed for those spaces. On the below, we have a storage room. The existing storage room right now is here. So we extend that storage room and we've created a secondary storage room on the opposite side. Wanted to make sure that we had room to put away equipment as you decide how this is going to get programmed, whether it's choral stanchions or things for music, or whether it's just general AV stuff, whatever it is. We want to make sure it can be put away. The space can be used in a variety of ways. Look, this is the concourse level basically stays as it is in structure, but we're going to take out the wood seats that are in there. We're going to put a new padded seat that's permanent. That's a flip up padded seat. That's more of just a little bit of an elevated style seating. And you'll see that in the renderings. As we went through scope, we originally had planned on renovating and cleaning up as much of the building as we could. The budget kind of came in high, so we kind of limited our scope to the entrance level, auditorium level, and stage level. The lower level spaces are kind of alternates at this point, receiving general cleanup. But if we have budget that allows us to do more in those spaces, we will. So this is just a section kind of shows you this would just be movable seating that's on the floor. There's the wall that creates those rooms in the background, and then the concourse that goes up. There's several elements that Threshold had proposed to make the space audible, like I mentioned. So we're doing a couple things. The walls that we built in to make these rooms are somewhat reflective in intent. They reflect sound to move sound towards the back of the auditorium. But as we go up on the walls that are sort of back around the windows, and these back walls and these walls receive acoustical panels. So you're seeing that rendered there, and you'll see it in the renderings of the space as well. They also proposed that we do absorptive sound panels on the ceiling. And you'll see those panels in the rendering as well. I think we started the project thinking we were going to do reflective sound things on the ceiling. But again, trying to make sure we were eliminating echo and making the space so that it was as audible as it could be, so that in a presentation, someone at a podium could get up there and we're not designing an orchestra hall, we're designing something that could be used in a lot of different ways. So this just kind of gives you an aerial view of the building with this being new proposed seating, then the floating sound clouds that are up in the existing structure. And you can kind of see how these walls that we propose, these rooms, don't go all the way to the ceiling. So there's sort of a platform there. And it's being designed with that platform as a floor. So that as we look at theatrical lighting that may come in the future, we can look at light spots that might be able to end up off there. And we're looking at access to that area would be through these storage rooms. So sort of the pretty picture of it. This is looking from as you enter. It is a pretty limited budget when you get into it. So a lot of the existing finishes we're trying to keep as much as we can, but just provide cleanup. So all the tile, the sort of masonry glazed tile that's around is somewhat nostalgic. It needs a little bit of repair here and there, but we're keeping all that and not covering it up. Right now, there's a discussion about the flooring, whether or not we refinish the wood floor or we put flooring over it. We have either one in the budget. I think that's this actually what we're showing here is a wood floor with the aisles having laid down carpet aisles. So for a performance, you would lay down carpet aisles and the wood floor would be where the seating is. We're looking at sort of upgrading the lighting so that it doesn't feel like a gym. So we call it house lighting. On those walls, we're showing these sort of vertical linear lights. More than likely, when we get into the final details with acoustics threshold, we're going to have some absorptive material on these reflector walls. So I'm guessing that we have a mix of hard reflective and absorption material on these walls, along with this sort of nice house lighting. And then the lighting coming from the ceiling gets upgraded to an elevated house lighting. Right now we're showing these sort of cylinders coming down with small spots. We'll probably have some additional lighting to make sure we're providing enough lighting for when you're doing educational seminars and things in the space. This gives you a good picture of the dropped clouds that are in there. The structure pretty much stays as it is. We're looking at, keeping the feel of the wood deck and the industrial sort of burnt red colored trusses that run across the span of the gymnasium. Just some additional views. We're looking at the level of additional staging things that we do as far as curtains. At a minimum, we're doing a frontal curtain in the budget, but we'd like to provide some layers of curtaining so that if you're doing a theatrical performance, people can kind of get hidden in those layers and allow so that you kind of have cut down the sight lines from the audience into the back of house areas of the stage. You can see most of these sound panels were on the walls. They're a little bit hard to see, but we kind of colored them with the wall, so they're somewhat subtle. We have sort of a dark color gray that's on the upper wall. There's actually curtains that are going across the windows. I think I have a view when the windows are open as well. And then you can see the sound panels also painted with the wall, and then we have an accent color on this reflector wall we're looking at, sort of a blue color. Or you can see the existing structure a little bit better. The seating for the front main area, we're looking at high density stackable chairs so that it can be very multi-purpose. We had looked at more upgraded theater style seating, But when we got to it with the stakeholders, they really wanted something more multi-purpose, more lightweight and easier to store away. So that's kind of what we're indicating here. Which the proposed seating in the event space is from 400 to 500. So as it's shown in this setup, you're looking at around 500 seats. 300 on the floor, just over 200 on the concourse. There was a lot of discussion. It's a pretty small stage. We talked about in the early planning, do we extend the stage out into the floor? What we ended up with is that it's flexible. So we see that performances probably will extend out into the floor, but it won't be a built stage extension because that would take up floor space that could be used for something else. So I think the users that were in our stakeholder group said, hey, well, maybe there would be a performing group hanging out in this area and the seating all gets pulled back. You know, so there's a variety of ways to get more performers involved. We had one for a larger choral group. You could take the same stanchions and put them from the stage down. So we have from the stage up and then stage down. And I think we were able to see like a choral group of about 100, which is pretty good. I think we start to see limitations on the seating for the audience and we get to the larger performing groups. Looking back. So this is just a visual, but it's our working budget. And right now we're at 1.28 million. So right at the threshold of the grant, which was the charge from staff, which I think we're there. And we've had really good cost feedback from Costco Construction, who were part of our team from the beginning. And looking forward to taking this to the next level. I'd like to get buy-in from the board tonight. The schedule moving forward from here is there's an update that needs to be made to the grant, which we have all the documents necessary for that in this, what you're seeing today. So assuming everybody likes what they see, I think we would be looking for staff to upgrade the grant with this information. We have to infill some engineering documentation for it to be ready to go out to bid. So we're going to be starting that as soon as we get direction from staff. We'll have our engineers look at the providing specifications for the actual lighting, the power, and the HVAC services space. So, no for questions.
It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Trustee Hyperman has been the board representative to the auditorium research. Your comments.
The process has been amazing, you know, including stakeholder groups, local performance-based groups that have been involved. It really added a lot to it. It's really different than it was when first proposed. I think everybody knows the kind of the austere nature of what we're dealing with, keeping it simple and using the existing space as best we can. The one further thing, I know what's missing is performance lighting. And I know that we're kind of holding back on that. But I would like to propose that at some point we consider on the concourse seating, what was done years ago, we do it again. And that is community involvement by selling seats and you know, sponsorships, contributions, and raising enough money through that to do basic stage lighting so that we can really step into it with a complete package.
Yeah, I think our intent is to start off going to bid because a lot of that could be a la carte, like we can put alternates in the bid. We do want to have basic stage lighting so we can, you know, dim the lights to the theater and pop the stage, get that feel, that elevated feel. And I think we do plan on putting that in our engineering drawings and bidding it as an alternate. So
I think I just want to express gratitude to you. I know this is a project that you're taking on because of your being connected to the community. It's not a giant project, and it's a time-consuming effort, and it's appreciated.
I think it's been fun.
Comments from anyone in the audience? Board comments, Trustee Harris-Jones.
Thank you for this excellent presentation. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's gonna bring so much to our community as far as the arts are concerned. And for other communities to come into our community to share. So thank you again.
Trustee Bowles.
That's what's great. Thank you so much for your work on this and for this presentation.
Any further comment? No. Trustee Simpson.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful work. Being in a village for a long time, this is just a space that's been underutilized forever. A lot of people don't even know it exists, so this is gonna be very nice. Thank you. Appreciate your work.
Trustee Mason.
Yeah, I love the renderings and I actually like the ability to maintain some of
Yeah.
the characteristics of the building with the new modern builds. Couple of quick questions. The new sidewalls, are those permanent or are they collapsible in any way?
It's currently planned that they're permanent because we're looking at building actually a floor on top of them that can support load.
Mhm.
And also within them, we're gonna have them, the support spaces are gonna have full HVAC systems. Fortunately, we have a crawl space underneath the whole gym floor.
Mhm.
And the lobby is fed by the boiler room by a furnace that was put in there at one point. It's the new bathroom remodel. We'll put equipment over there and run it through the crawl space and feed these spaces. So the intent is to make them permanent and the rooms can somewhat act as a classroom.
Okay.
Where you could do an art class there, or if you're doing some sort of gallery setup, you could display artwork in them. If you have an event that's going on in the main space, you could have those rooms set up as gallery spaces. So I think that being permanent, it does pinch the room down a little bit.
Yeah.
I think. So the usability of the big space is limited because we're building these walls. So it was a decision that had some discussion and certainly it's a good question.
And the other thing was, are there any audio components as a part of the build out?
Yeah, so as part of Threshold's scope of work in the preliminary, we had an AV design done. And they put together a good, better, best for us. When we originally submitted for the project, we had very little for audio just because in our expectation, because we knew the budget was tight.
Mhm.
So what we went right to the good, not the better and best. And we even cut back from that where the good had projection and a drop down screen that was a pretty big price tag on it. So we took that out, but what we do have is basic speakers and amplification for the basic stuff and the ability to plug in the more heavy stuff if you need it for a band or something. But the idea is you could come in and do a presentation, Women's League of Voters or safety training, plug in a mic and you got amplification ready to go. There's 2 soundboard locations that we have planned into the project. One is off the main floor. There's going to be basically a lift up access panel that has a trough that feeds it. And it will, you'll be able to plug the soundboard into it. We have a basic soundboard in the budget currently. Napoleon's had some comments about what the specs were about with that. So we're looking at trying to find the best cost effective solution for that. We also have a raised sound panel up here, and that has actually built-in cabinetry. So the thought is that we're going to store all of our sound equipment there. And if it gets relocated for performance sound on the floor, we just get pulled out of that spot and brought it to the lowest spot.
All right. Looks great. Thank you.
Trustee Roman.
I think it looks great. I'm actually really impressed by how much is getting done for $1.3 million. I kept thinking, okay, at the end of this, he's gonna say, and we need another $1 million to make this all happen. So I'm impressed. Thank you for everything.
Hope we can do it.
Yeah.
Wait, wait.
Oh, so
Nothing,
this is the fingers crossed.
nothing in the basement?
So yeah, we had a lot of scope in the basement originally. We pulled it all out, but we did leave in surface cleaning and scraping, and so there were going to be some basic stuff, but really it's got to be an additional investment to the 1.3 to get. If you want this level in the performance space, you know, we had to take out the scope of the lower level.
What about the washrooms?
Lobby.
So the lobby washrooms are getting completely remodeled, new finishes, partitions, fixtures, wall finishes. They're, you know, as you go down into the basement, there's sort of a mid-level existing bathroom. Haven't fully figured out what the status is of the plumbing there yet, because it's not functioning now. But our thought was to try to incorporate a single user toilet at each side. So it would give us 2 additional toilets. And right now they're both multi toilets in them, and they're not ADA, even though it is down a stair level, so ADA isn't. It's still by code a consideration. So the idea of having 2, we call them family restrooms, you know, that are down that half flight of stair, that's gonna be bid as an alternate. And it's currently, I think it's built into our budget, can't remember if it. I don't think it's included in the 1.2, but it's listed as a bid alternate.
You have it as a step.
Yeah.
HVAC,
So we did have a lot of discussion on HAC, and this was another sort of a budget breaker. There was a new unit, I think a 25 ton unit put on the roof last year. And so when we start increasing the occupant load of the building, the code starts to, you know, bridge up to wanting more HVAC. We sort of have to make a decision that based on it being an existing building, that we're gonna go with the HVAC as it is with the 20 ton, 25 ton. And we are providing new HVAC for these side rooms. So the additional load that's coming from those rooms is gonna get new units with condensers that are outside, and then it's like a mini split system.
is that included in yours?
The split system for the rooms is additional unit. Be above and beyond the 25 ton, if not.
So it's an alternative?
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Haney, what's next?
So our next step, hopefully we'll come back on at the November 11th board meeting, and we will request to move forward with the construction process. Now, obviously, Mike Mapp has done an amazing job. So we have 2 options: one, traditional bid, or design bid. And I think Mike mentioned the company that's been with us from the beginning, that's performed some of the costing and the details of some of these of all of these items. What's the name of the company?
Yeah, part of our selection process was to have a contractor on board, and it's Cosgrove Construction.
Cosgrove Construction.
They did the remodel project at the Homewood Flossmoor High School arts wing.
Mhm.
So, you know, they're a good fit to roll in, and if the board thinks it makes sense, we could just move forward with that.
So our goal is to bring those processes back, whether it's traditional bidding, street bidding, or to move into a design bid. And DCO, Terrence has confirmed that DCO is comfortable with either method. So we believe design bid is probably the best way to go with this process.
We'll look forward to that in one of our November meetings.
November 11th.
One of our November.
See you.
Wait, I have another question that got brought up in the follow-up conversation, when you said budget breaker. Have we considered the new capacity of the 500 people and the fact that we might actually need the additional bathrooms?
The bathroom load is fine.
Oh, currently
Yeah.
without the additional bathroom.
Yeah, we'll meet code for the bathroom. It's
Okay.
the HVAC that, it's margin, it's like sort of on the tipping point. Where if we took it to current code, like it was a new building, we would need no more than 25 ton. It could be a matter of, you know, we were kind of pulling the seat count down because we knew we didn't have the budget to pay for additional HVAC in the auditorium space. So we were kind of targeting 400 as our seat count to sort of help that load situation. I know we've heard that the new equipment does really well in cooling that space. In fact, it was cold, yeah.
Yeah, we had
Last
a
event, it was
safety stand down, it was
cold.
68 degrees, and we had full staff, all departments in there for almost 4 hours, and it was freezing, 68, it was freezing, so.
It is a decision working with an existing system that a full house on a 100-degree day, 195% humidity, you know, there could be a limitation, but I'm not saying that there will be. But we could actually, with our engineer, we can actually tell you, okay, at that extreme, with the equipment that's here, with it full, this is what it's gonna be able to hold. And the design temperature may go up from what we would normally have it be. I think it's just a matter of, yeah, I mean, we're looking, it's a big number to step that HVAC up. And the other thing is like an auditorium space on the existing HVAC is designed like a gym now, so it's a little, the duct work is a little bit smaller, like in the theater, everything's super big, so you don't hear any air. Like, we're living with what's there as a gym space for our HVAC, so it's not going to be like, you know, state-of-the-art auditorium, but I think it's the idea, it's multi-purpose, and it's gonna be able to, I mean, there's plenty of gyms. I mean, I was at Parker Junior High's theater performance for my daughter, Emmy, over the weekend, and, you know, it's a gymnasium stage, and we filled the space up pretty good, and it just fine.
Okay, thank you very much. We look forward to November.
Thank you, sir.
An item that's not on the agenda, Walt's Food Store closed last Sunday. And I'd like to recognize them for their longtime commitment and presence in the community. We have a proclamation on behalf of the board. Ms. Flores, if you could please read it.
A proclamation honoring the legacy of Walt's Food Store. Whereas Walt's Food Store, located at 2345 183rd Street in Homewood, Illinois, has been a cornerstone of the community for decades, serving generations of residents with a dedication, quality care. And whereas founded in 1937 by Walt Lagasty as a humble fruit and vegetable stand in South Holland, Walt's grew into a beloved family-owned grocery chain that has remained committed to excellence in service and community values for 88 years. And whereas the Homewood location of Walt's Food Store has been more than just a place to shop, it has been a neighborhood gathering place, a source of employment, and a symbol of the enduring spirit of local business. And whereas the Lagasty family has made the difficult decision to conclude their operations and transition the store to Burkott Superfoods, another family-owned grocery committed to continuing the legacy of community service and quality. And whereas the Village of Homewood recognized the profound impact Walt has had on in the lives of residents, from the friendly faces behind the counters to the special touches like ordering unique items for loyal customers. And whereas we express our deepest gratitude to the Lagasty family and the entire Walt's team for their unwavering commitment to Homewood and for their service to the community over the years. Now, therefore, Mayor Hofield, President of Village of Homewood, on behalf of Village Board and the residents of Homewood, honor Walt's and the Lagasty family for being part of the Homewood business community for the past 45 years and encourage all residents to join in honoring the legacy of Walt's and celebrating the values of family service community that it has exemplified. In witness whereof, unto set my hand and caused by the seal of the village, Homewood, to be affixed to this 28th day of October 25th. Signed, Mayor Hofield.
Again, Waltz has been a fixture in Homewood as long as we can all remember. We'll see that that's sent to the Lagasty family. On behalf of the board, thank you, Waltz. Hear from the audience. If anyone in the audience would like to address the board on any subject not on the agenda, please raise your hand. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, Amy Crump, Homewood, Illinois. I would like to continue reading from On Tyranny by Timothy Snyder, and I would like to start off with a quote that is frequently attributed to Thomas Jefferson, but I found out he didn't say this. When injustice becomes law, resistance becomes duty. Listen for dangerous words, chapter 17. Be alert to the words extremism and terrorism. Be alive to the fatal notions of emergency and exception, and be angry about the treacherous use of patriotic vocabulary. The most intelligent of the Nazis, the legal theorist Carl Schmitt, explained in clear language the essence of fascist governance. The way to destroy all rules, he explained, was to focus on the idea of exception. A Nazi leader outmaneuvers his opponents by manufacturing a general conviction that the present moment is exceptional, and then transforming that state of exception into a permanent emergency. Citizens then trade real freedom for fake safety. When politicians today invoke terrorism, they are speaking, of course, of an actual danger. But when they try to train us to surrender freedom in the name of safety, we should be on our guard. There is no necessary trade-off between the two. Sometimes we do indeed gain one by losing the other, and sometimes not. People who assure you that you can only gain security at the price of liberty usually want to deny you both. You can certainly concede freedom without becoming more secure. The feeling of submission to authority might be comforting, but it is not the same thing as actual safety. Likewise, gaining a bit of freedom may be unnerving, but this momentary unease is not dangerous. It is easy to imagine situations where we sacrifice both freedom and safety, where we lose our health care, begin an abusive relationship, or vote for a fascist. Similarly, it is not hard to imagine choices that increase both freedom and safety, like seeing a doctor, leaving an abusive relationship, or immigrating from a fascist state. It is the government's job to increase both freedom and security. Extremism certainly sounds bad, and governments often use it to make it sound worse by using the word terrorism in the same sentence. But the word has little meaning. There is no doctrine called extremism. When tyrants speak of extremists, they just mean people who are not in the mainstream, as the tyrants themselves are defining that mainstream at that particular moment. Dissidents of the 20th century, whether they were resisting fascism or communism, were called extremists. Modern authoritarian regimes such as Russia use laws on extremism to punish those who criticize their policies. In this way, the notion of extremism becomes to mean virtually everything except what is in fact extreme: tyranny. I would like to close by saying that Eric and I both went to Broadview about 10 days ago, and we were protesting what was going on there at the ICE facility. And one of the things that I noticed was that the Broadview police were working with the state troopers who were enforcing and arresting people who dare to step into the street from the protest area. If you stepped into the street, you got arrested. What I want to know is, if and when ICE shows up in Homewood in unmarked vehicles and other things that violate state law, is Homewood going to do the same as Broadview and just give them carte blanche? Or are we actually going to see somebody stand up and arrest people for breaking Illinois state laws? Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. I remember many of you. I hope you remember me. A couple of weeks ago, we had I'm Bob Griffith. I live on Center Avenue near Churchill School, 18840, if you're recording things. I think we had a very lively conversation about aligning 183rd Street, and I don't want to relitigate, that's too strong a word, but I'm not here to talk about that necessarily tonight. I'm still disappointed that you felt it wasn't fixing the cause of the problem. But I was encouraged that we were talking about addressing some of the mitigation factors. So I'd like to ask three things of the board and of the village. One is, we discussed the 40, whatever, many mitigation factors. I think the most important one was actually fixing the root cause of the problem, the way the road is configured and designed, but that leaves 46 others. So I'd like to, if possible, to have, and I don't want to, I'm about to dump more work potentially on Mr. Haney, but a quarterly periodic report on where we are with those mitigation factors. I would love to see it on a monthly basis, but I'll leave that workload to the mayor and y'all. So that would be my first request. Second request is, again, we all have different opinions. I'm not sure the mitigation factors will really make it a safer road, causing speeding and people trying to turn into driveways and turning left and such. But I'd like to be able to measure that. I think I told you last, I'm used to doing root cause and then you measure how you're doing. So if we can, maybe not every month, but at least on a statistically relevant time period, 6 months or a year, can we measure, is the street safer based on these mitigation factors? We'll see. I won't say which one, let's deal with the facts. And the third thing is, I know we have a road budget every year. And I know a lot of times I live on a street that got repaired like 15 years ago, and it's got a few potholes, and I'm sure it's probably on the public works list. But what I'd like to do is add safety features onto that I don't know what you would call it, the road budget, and make that up. So having that one would be one of the major factors as you look at what streets are addressed and which streets are repaired. I think some of them, a lot of times we think of repairs being potholes. I think of it as safe crossings for kids getting across, like from Dairy Queen to Irwin Park. I live on 187th Street, which is a 4-lane highway that could be restriped down to a much slower configuration. There are different areas that could be potentially addressed with a road budget. So those are my three. Just keep us up to date, because I think I may represent many others that are very interested in the, let's say, road safety. We had a new phrase, we'll call it home safe Homewood. I know it's home sweet, but we'd also like home safe Homewood. So if we can have a report on how we're doing on the mitigation factors, we can measure if they're having any effect. And if there's a way to have input into having safety being a major factor on how we spend our road budget in the coming year. That's my request.
Thank you.
Okay.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak to the board this evening? If not, the consent agenda, Ms. Flores.
We ask the board to consider a motion to pass, approve, authorize, accept, or award the following items. Approve the appointments of Jason Baldoff and Janet Hernandez to the Tree Committee for a 3-year term ending on October 28th, 2028. Authorize the village president to enter into intergovernmental agreement creating the Southland Communication Systems as part of the ECOM and Southcom 911 consolidation. Approve a budget amendment of $388,600 to the Water Sewer Fund and accept a proposal from Burns and McDonnell of Chicago for professional engineering services in an amount not to exceed $388,600 to assist the village and home with construction management of lead service line replacement for fiscal year 2026 in accordance with the United States Environmental Protection Agency and the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency requirements. Approve a contract amendment with Burns and McDonnell of Chicago to update the terms and conditions of the professional engineering services agreement approved on March 12, 2024, in order to make the contract value eligible for reimbursement through the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency State Revolving Fund Loan. Pass resolution R3237, electing to include cash payments in lieu of or related to health insurance as Illinois Municipal Retirement Fund earnings. Pass ordinance 2374, approving Homewood's distribution of the 143rd regional share of gaming tax to be shared with the police and fire pension funds. Pass ordinance M2375, amending the table of the number of liquor license limitations by class to increase the allowed number of Class 1 liquor licenses by 1 for the following change of R. Scott Donkel, the Ridgewood for the proposal location at 2059 Ridge Road, subject to successful completion of the liquor license application process. Pass ordinance M2376, waiving requirements governing outdoor alcohol sales for R. Scott Donkel LLC and approve the issuance of a permit for the sale of alcoholic beverages outdoor to Scott Donkel LLC, the Ridgewood, subject to successful completion of the liquor license application process. Pass ordinance M2377, authorizing the village president to enter into real estate purchase and sale agreement with Munyar Buwadi for the village-owned property located at 18155 Dixie Highway. Approve a budget amendment of $3,786 to the general fund for an incentive payment to Larry Kane and pass resolution R3238, authorizing the village president to enter into incentive agreement with Larry Kane of Jonathan Kane Salon and Spa to provide financial assistance from the non-TIF Business Incentive Program for $3,786 for building improvements at 18065 Harwood Avenue, Retail Suite Number 2. Approve a budget amendment in the amount of $57,142 and authorize the purchase of 1 Ford Utility Police Interceptor from Curry Ford Fleet of Frankfurt in the amount of $45,142 and the purchase of lighting accessories and equipment in the amount of $12,000 for a total amount not to exceed $57,142. Approve a budget amendment transfer of $120,602.90 from the contingency fund line item and waive the competitive bidding to approve emergency purchase of stainless steel above ground enclosure and the replacement of new electrical and control components at lift station number 9 from Metropolitan Industries of Romeoville in the amount of $109,639 with an additional 10% contingency of up to $120,602.90. This approval will authorize the village manager to execute the necessary agreements and payment improvements required to complete this project. And award the bid for brick paver replacement and resetting in the Central Business District to GC Designs of Manuka, Illinois, the lowest responsible bidder in the amount of $16,110, and authorize the village manager to execute the necessary contract documents.
Thank you. Comments or questions from anyone in the audience? Yes, ma'am.
Could you explain item E that has to do with cash payments for the IMRF and in lieu of related health insurance?
So this item is basically just putting in writing through a resolution what the village has already been practicing. So we have village employees that opt out of participating in the village's health insurance plans. So they receive a cash payment in lieu of not being covered by the plan. And so in order for that cash payment to be eligible for IMRF, the pension fund, we have to pass a resolution to have on file with IMRF. And this was discovered, we had a compliance review with IMRF, and so this was the step to make sure that we can continue to operate the same.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
The item for the reimbursement of Kane out of the non-TIF amount, what is that? It's like $3,700.
That's for, building and business owners are eligible for building improvements and upgrades. This is for an, air conditioning condenser unit. It's 50% of the cost. You're welcome.
And Mayor, I think it bodes to say, so staff, we spend a lot of times writing these board memos for, and so we've recently changed over the last 3 years, not just writing them for the board, but we actually write them for the public. So we make it easy to understand. Some of the board memos are a little bit longer to kind of explain. We've added pictures and documents. So we would love to encourage the public to take a read of the board memos. We put a lot of time and attention in these memos, and I think you would find that they were they would be very, very informative. So.
Any other comments from anyone in the audience? If not, I just have two questions. Chief, with regard to the replacement of the Squadron, is that insurance reimbursed? It was not our fault.
Yeah. Yes, the vehicle was totaled and it was submitted to our insurance provider, so we will get the value, whatever the current value of that vehicle, so they will get reimbursement.
Okay. Mr. Berman, the emergency replacement for the lift station. It's because ComEd switches failed, correct?
We believe that to be the cause. There is a claim in with ComEd right now. It's being evaluated by their team. Hope to have some answers from them here shortly as far as the type of reimbursement might be occurring. But that's what we believe the cause is, yes.
Okay, it is reimbursable. And lastly, Mr. Berman, the pavers sorely needed, replacement of the pavers in the CBD. What's the schedule for that?
So we're going to be approval tonight. We're going to be contacting the vendor. We're going to be getting some schedule together. There is some time right now with weather pending that they can get out and get some corrections done now. And the resolution of that will then be spring. They'll be complete with the entire downtown. We'll be on to the next phase.
But it's possible they could start as early as next week?
Next week, we can get them on the agenda, get them on their agenda, get them scheduled, yes.
65 degrees next week. Okay, good. Board comments, Trustee Harris Jones.
Nothing for me.
Trustee Willis.
Yeah.
Trustee Heisterman.
I just want to recognize Jonathan Kane, Salon and Spa. Larry Kane is here. Thank you. And kind of a retroactive, we still thank you for choosing to come to Homewood, and we're glad to be able to participate.
As long as you're here, give us an update on Jonathan Kane.
We're replacing one of the two original air conditioning units. They look beautiful. They're really nice. The bidding process was great. Thanks to the village for offering businesses like like to do stuff like this. It certainly makes a difference in my operations. We're up to 31 employees. And we're not even full staffed yet. We got it pretty hard with COVID. And it's been just a great time. Just I think last week. We looked at my files. Okay, so last week was our 9th year here in home. Out of the 15 we've been in existence.
Love having you here.
Me too. Thank you.
Trustee Simpson.
No, sir, none.
Trustee Mason.
Nothing.
Trustee Roman.
I'll just echo that we love having your business here. Thank you for choosing Homewood to invest in and have your business. I think it was crazy that I drove by the police car getting towed today. I was out in Mokina and all of a sudden the Homewood squad went by on a tow truck. And I wondered, is our officer okay?
Yes.
Okay, all the airbags went off and it looked pretty rough, so I thought, oh, that's crazy, that's on the agenda tonight, and there goes the stuff. I'm glad that he, or she, is okay. I don't think I have any more comments, just lots of business, lots of people investing in our community, thank you, and getting stuff done.
You know
Thank
what?
you for everything.
I do. Yeah. With item B, the intergovernmental agreement with Southland Communication. I know that there are a lot of 911 centers that are being combined. With the Southland Communication System coming around, how much input does Homewood have in the governance of that? And I know the basic consolidation is to increase services and efficiency and kind of use crowdfunding to make sure we have state-of-the-art equipment. But I just want to know how much input do we have in the governance of that center?
We have direct input. Homewood actually sits on the board of directors for Ecom and Southland. There are various committees that are generated out of Ecom, Southcom, and the Southland. She sits on the police committee. We have public works representation, but we have we're directly engaged in the decision making.
Thank you.
And lastly, new owners of Ridgewood. Come on, tell us how it's proceeding.
I mean, it's been fine. We're just kind of going through the slow process and getting everything approved. So once we use the funds approval,
December 5th is holiday lights. We get a ton of people in the downtown, have something special. You'll really be the beneficiary of the business. We wish you well.
Thank you.
We have a motion to approve the items on the consent agenda.
So moved.
Yes.
It's been moved by trustee Roman, seconded by trustee Mason. Roll call, please.
Trustee Harris Jones.
Aye.
Trustee Willis.
Aye.
Trustee Hyperman.
Aye.
Trustee Simpson.
Aye.
Trustee Mason. Trustee Roman.
Hi.
Consent agenda is approved. General board discussion, trustee Harris.
As a reminder, first of all, thank everyone for coming out. I appreciate your attendance. And as a reminder, don't forget to turn your clocks back on, is it Saturday night? Saturday night. Fall back, please. Thank you.
Trustee Willis.
On, what was it, Monday, the 20th? A new bookstore opened, yeah, well, had the grand opening. Beyond the Book. And I went there along with trustee Harris Jones and browsed the shelves, and I forgot how much I missed actual bookstores instead of buying things off Amazon. It's a really nice space to look around, sit and talk and buy a few books. And I did buy a few, one of which I managed to while I was there. So if you ever forget your copy, I have one.
Trustee Hyperman.
Trick or treat safely. My message for like.
What are we, 3 to 7? 3 to 7?
Trustee Sampson.
I want to commend the police department for the increased enforcement effort on 183rd Street. I definitely have seen it. I believe the digital signs are are effective, and I also heard it from trustee Harris Jones, that she heard it from the public and the community, that they observed the extra effort, and I have seen it as well, so thank you.
Trustee Mason?
I echo that. I've seen increased presence on 183rd and a couple other locations as well, and I think that it's really going to begin to affect some change. So let's keep up the good work. Also, I just wanted to thank trustee Harris Jones for telling me to fall back, turn my clock back, or I would have been late Monday morning. And change the, it's a great time to make sure you change your air filters on your furnaces. Please do that.
That's it, Roman.
Is there anything that we can have like kind of an update since the last meeting on what has been transpiring behind the scenes for our
That's the next item.
next item?
I can share that.
He's gonna,
Oh.
we're gonna call
Okay,
him.
well, I do have one other thing before you share that then. I would like to share the addresses of the winners of our Halloween contest. And, we had, they were shared on Facebook, but, also, I thought I was one of the judges for the contest, and I thought it was really cool that about 4 of the houses sold in the last year. So these were brand new residents to our community who decorated and got involved, and I just thought that was really cool. So scariest house is right here on Ridge, 1735 Ridge. While we were judging, someone jumped out at my car with a knife. I don't think that will happen to everyone, but that they had the scariest effects going while we were out judging, and that one is scary. 19119 Pierce is child friendly. I think it is so cute. Bring your kids. There's unicorns and all sorts of really cute kid friendly Halloween stuff. And then if there's one house that you go to, please go to 18617 Marshfield. They won the most creative theme. And I don't want to give it away because you're gonna love it. Go and see, it's the Homewood Cemetery was their theme, and you have to go check it out. So that's all I wanted to share in addition to the update.
Good. Mr. Haney?
Yes, so to our resident staff and the board, we're way ahead of you. We've been meeting all week to talk about mitigation strategies. We met on this past 183rd, I'm sorry, this is regarding 183rd Street mitigation strategies. Staff met on this week. We went through our list and we kind of discounted a lot of the items that would require additional planning and cost. But we did come up with a pretty robust list that we will be bringing back next week. And our plan was every board meeting to provide some type of update, and we'll put those updates on our website as well. But we are there. So we have some exciting and interesting mitigation strategies to share with you guys come possibly the first meeting in November.
First or second?
First or second meeting in November. We're ready.
Good.
I'm sorry. The other thing is, with the advent of the daylight fleeting faster than normal, I wanted Josh to share our strategy of how we identify streetlights that are out.
Thank you. So real quick, we get a lot of calls throughout the year. My street light's out, it's dark over here. We have 2 times of year that we go out, spring and fall. We do, when it's dusk out, lights should be on. We go out and do an entire inventory of the entire town, break it in half. And of that, we come back to Public Works, write down a list of what's ours and get a work order in and parts ordered if needed, get them working again. The other list is a ComEd list because we do share some of lighting with our ComEd partner. Those get put into a portal online that it's a map. Residents can access this portal if they see something's not right. It's all color coded. And from there, we are in constant contact with Benita, who is our ComEd representative. And it's been kind of slow, but we did get some updates that their system is now up and running. Again, there was an update that needed to happen. And a lot of the things that were shown as not working or pending work have been now turned to green, and green is good. So spring and fall, we are out. Our team, we take it very serious. Public safety is huge. Support our police department, fire department. So
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, yeah.
I have a question about that. if somebody calls and tells you that their street light is out, right after you've just done your seasonal check, do they have to wait until the following seasonal check in order to have their light?
No, absolutely not. We will, so again, that list gets generated, and if, let's say a resident calls and the address is on there, we can give them an update that it's already documented. If we don't have it on there, we will then verify if it's ours, or if it's already in the portal for ComEd. And we can provide that update live.
Thank you.
Thanks, Josh.
With that, may I have a motion to enter into executive session for the semi-annual review of closed session minutes? May I have such a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by trustee Roman, seconded by trustee Simpson. Roll call, please.
Trustee Harris Jones.
Aye.
Trustee Willis.
Aye.
Trustee Heiferman.
Aye.
Trustee Simpson.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Roman.
We are going into closed session. Thank you all for being here.